Masters of the Universe Revolution. Is it better than Revelation, or is it just more of the same? Let's get into it. Welcome to Duck Vader TV. Today we're going to talk about Masters of the Universe Revolution. But first, join the Duck Side by subscribing to the channel, hit that like button, and please share the video. Kevin Smith returns to Eternia to give us Masters of the Universe Revolution. If you remember last time, assuming you watched last time, Revelation didn't go over so well. He-Man was killed off early and took a backseat to Teela. Teela and her friend Andra were gay-coded. Prince Adam was brought back just to be killed again. The series was a mess, and the fandom was pretty vocal about it. Did Kevin get the hint and fix the problems that plagued Revelation? Let's dive in. The Revolution story has 3 plot threads. Prince Adam has plot A, Teela has plot B, and Duncan and Oracle have plot C. Plot A begins with a battle in Subternia with He-Man and friends taking on Scareglow to retrieve the spirits of Clampchamp and Fisto in an effort to give those heroes a better resting place than Subternia. After the battle, King Randor fell fatally ill, and before dying, leaves Prince Adam with a choice: be king or be He-Man. It left me thinking, why couldn't he do both? But for the sake of the story, let's play along and see where it goes. Teela, seeing the pain that Adam was in, goes off to begin plot B, and we'll get into that later. But as the story progresses, we're introduced to a blue stranger from the past who is a relative of the royal family. Without knowing much about this person, the royal family and staff put an absurd amount of trust into him. And basically, this plot doesn't move forward without everyone trusting him, and the audience would just have to suspend their belief and realize that the good guys are pretty gullible.
What's with you, man?
Skeletor, sporting a new tech appearance, attacks the palace and infects the citizens with nanotech bombs. As the citizens inhale the tech bomb residue containing a virus, they become tech zombies and then attack the heroes. During the battle, while trying to rescue an infected child, He-Man finds that the Power Sword, when touching an infected person, can actually reverse the tech virus. The battle itself gives Keldor the opportunity to show some heroics and leadership, and naturally, for plot's sake, this was all that was needed to have our heroes put their complete trust into Keldor. After the battle, realizing that to cure everyone, He-Man would need the ability to cure a massive amount of people at once, so he has Oracle and Duncan go on a quest to amplify the power of the sword, which is plot C. So with Adam not wanting to give up being He-Man and Keldor having a birthright to the crown, despite not knowing much about him, Adam coronates Keldor as the new king. Then immediately, we the audience are let know that that was a mistake. Keldor begins his manipulation tactics of having He-Man go on a task to have him distracted, and fooling the happy-to-help Andra into unknowingly affecting the citizens of Eternia with the tech virus. Hordak then uses that opportunity to gain access to Castle Grayskull and takes over Eternia. Plot B has Teela going on a quest to restore Preternia so that the heroes of Eternia would have a place to live out their reward after death. To do so, she would need to reunite ancient magic to pull off the incredible feat. The sorceress used the power of Zor, Skeletor used the power of Havoc, and the Snake People used the power of Ka. To learn the power of Ka, we're introduced to an old Masters of the Universe favorite, Granomir. We didn't see a lot of Granomir in the original show, but when we did, those episodes always felt more special. We find that Evil Lyn has been a nursemaid of sorts to Granomir because due to the events that took place in Revelation, Granomir has become ill. After some convincing, Granomir grants Teela with a new look and the ability to learn Ka, and has Evil Lyn be her teacher. Meanwhile, in Plot C, we're introduced to a character that was first seen in the live-action Masters of the Universe movie, Gwildor. Fans were understandably upset at the time that they got Gwildor instead of Orko, but it would have taken a lot of special effects money, and if you've ever seen that movie, you'd quickly realize that no, that was not in the budget. Gwildor, being a tech wizard, Duncan commissions him to give the Power Sword a tech upgrade. And being comedy relief characters, Gwildor believing in tech and Orko believing in magic actually leads to some funny moments between the two. The story then culminates with our heroes coming together to retake Castle Grayskull in a climactic battle that saw Skeletor taking on Hordak in an epic fight, then He-Man taking on Skeletor. During the fighting, Teela focused her attention on the restoration of Preternia, and once Adam was reunited with the Power Sword, Adam and Teela had a moment in which Adam shared the power of Grayskull with her to give her the strength to restore Preternia. Teela turns into a super sorceress, and He-Man gets a new look reminiscent of the '87 movie. Why the change? I don't know. I can't really tell you. They never gave an in-story reason for it. I assume it's to sell more toys, but if someone knows, please let me know in the comments down below. Our heroes eventually win the day with Skeletor defeated, but not killed, of course. And before the end, we're treated to a scene of a person talking to Hordak in a recovering chamber, a la Darth Vader, with plans to get revenge on Skeletor and He-Man, so the pieces are in place for next season. The animation looked great and the detail given to the characters and environments was top-notch. However, I do believe that Revelation looked better. I'd have to watch Revelation again to be sure, but I seem to remember it just being a little bit better. Maybe after the blowback that Revelation got, the budget for Revolution was cut just a little bit. Not saying it was, but that's my theory. The characters important to the story all got their moments to shine. He-Man, surprisingly, was in most of the episodes and got to do He-Man stuff. That alone gives this season an edge over Revelation, and I'm sure Kevin got notes to give the audience more He-Man, and to his credit, he did deliver. Teela, while being the co-lead character, got to be an important component of the story without overshadowing He-Man. And thank God they got a new actress to voice Teela, because this time she comes off less bitchy, less gay, and more likable. Andra played the role of tech genius, and like Teela, was actually more likable this time around. The problem with the cliche genius character is that they're uber smart when the plot needs them to be, but also dumb as a stump when the plot needs them to be. Evil Lyn had humorous moments in the story and completed her character arc, which started in Revelation. I'll be interested to see where her story goes in the future. Skeletor, voiced by Mark Hamill, usually shined whenever he was on screen, but would sometimes fall out of Skeletor voice and go into his Joker voice. It kind of takes you out of the moment at times, but overall, it was a good performance. If you didn't know the guy voicing Skeletor was also Luke Skywalker, you wouldn't know it was Mark Hamill. On the other hand, you know right away that William Shatner voiced Keldor. There was no effort to give the audience anything else, and basically at this point in his career, Shatner is just going to give us Shatner. Hordak was played brilliantly by Keith David, a cold-hearted villain who manipulated others for his selfish gain. He even gave us the classic Hordak giggle snort without it being too over-the-top cartoony. The rest of the cast did a solid job, but what I didn't like is that some of the classic characters that were shown didn't have anything important to do or say. Ram Man, Buzz Off, the evil Horde henchman. It's like they were put on screen as member berries, but after the initial pop of seeing them, they had little to do in the story. You could basically replace them with no-name characters and the plot wouldn't skip a beat. They were there to sell merchandise and tap into nostalgia. In wrapping this up, I have to say that I enjoyed Revolution much more than I did Revelation. We got He-Man in a tighter, more enjoyable story. I believe the blowback from Revelation led to some massive rewrites for Revolution. He-Man was front and center, there was little filler, and in 5 episodes there really shouldn't be. There were no gay Tila overtones, no one had to power down to have sex. There was lots of action and the show was fun. What I didn't like is that everyone knows that Adam is He-Man. Part of the charm in the original show was Prince Adam finding ways to transform into He-Man with no one knowing. Because if everyone knows he's He-Man, that basically leaves him vulnerable and he's open to manipulation. The enemy doesn't have to beat He-Man to beat He-Man, just anyone he knows and loves. But with that being said, I'm actually looking forward to seeing where the story goes next. I'd rate Revolution 3 out of 5 stars. While better than Revelation, it still has some story issues and too much reliance on nostalgia. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Duck Vader TV. Please hit that like button, share the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified when new videos go up, and I will see you next time.